if you're one of our haters who are out there watching.
I want to warn people about hypnoporn.
We need to stay meta.
Stop that.
Need new tires? Like what?
If Jim would shut up for a second.
Oh, high fidelity.
Okay, don't tell me to shut up.
I'm not whining.
I eat doggies. I eat dogs. Feels like a party.
Stop that. It's a war. They have made it so that I cannot be celebrating July 4th.
I don't care. I'm gonna lie, I'm not gonna pretend. I don't care. How do I think? That's what I think. I don't care.
This is 6 Degrees of Stew. You don't need to stay meta, but I'm glad you're here.
Yes, I can.
All right. Well, we are live right now. Let me post this and then we can, let me share the Twitch stream and then we will I can start playing the intro music actually while we're sitting here. That would be, can you hear it, Steph?
Yeah.
Okay.
Line because you didn't turn off your radio. People turn me off all the time, but I'm still here. Turn your radio off, please. First time caller line, you're on the air.
So we're back where we began.
Oh, you called already, didn't you?
Yes,
You're right. You're off. You're out of here. Goodbye. And that's the way to get that done. Radio off. Radio off. All right.
I love this.
All right. Turn your radio off. Turn your radio off. Radio off. Turn your radio off. Turn your radio off. Radio off. All right. Radio off. Turn your radio off.
It's so good. Oh, that was so good.
And huge shout out to DJ Danarchy who made that song just for me.
It is amazing. Can you, I accidentally, in our chat, I accidentally closed out the ending one. If you can send that to me as we get started here.
Yes, I can.
I closed it and I was like, oh, close the wrong window. I have so many open. Okay.
And you could get a good shot of the Q on my wall behind me.
I love it. Okay.
I was like, oh my God, there's a clothing store called Q. I have to have this. I
Hi,
have
Muggsy.
to shop there.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Okay, I'm putting it in this chat for you so that I'm putting it in the studio chat.
Muggsy said that's quite the blanket coat, Steph. You could live in Canada with that.
Oh yeah, that's my Snuggie. My husband. He surprised me with it the one day. He's like, "Look what I got for you."
Look at
and
what I got for you.
I have one of the cat pregnancy sweaters too that has the big pouch to put the cat in.
Oh, I need one of those. Does Squeaks like it?
A little bit. Like I kind of have it's not very sturdy, so you have to like do the pregnant belly hold underneath.
So you're just walking like.
Yep.
Oh my. So Steph, recently you got married, right? Congratulations.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Congratulations.
In
Wonderful
case we
guy.
have to flee the country.
Well, you know what? Take me with you if we have to. I'll go to England. All right.
Yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to send him a link. because he might tune in.
Oh, Muggsy, congrats again.
Thank you.
All right, let me share this screen so we can tell everybody what we're doing tonight. Share screen. Because I didn't really publicize what we were doing. I kind of just made it ambiguous, like we were doing Art Bell, but I didn't tell anybody what episode of Art Bell we were doing, or what we were examining. No, you only did one tweet where I saw it, so it hasn't been out there. So I don't think a lot of people know that we're going to cover the Coast to Coast AM episode with Art Bell on September 11th, which I'm going to put right now. Where are all those text things that I made? Steph wrote some articles, which are really good about this. Here is the first one. That's part 2. Whoops, wrong one.
Part 2 isn't very good. Like you can tell, I was like, ugh.
But if you want to, you can, that's the name of the article. It links to our Patreon, and you can click there and you'll get the article from her. And then I'll click, once that goes away, I'll do part 2 here.
And I also have, and they're all free on my Patreon. You can find it through that link. I did a whole series on 9/11 called There and Back Again, which was kind of a reference to my revisitation of the topic because I used to be a conspiracy theorist and no planer. So I was like, it would be cool to kind of write a little bit about how 9/11 is different for me now. So I have a whole series. I have trigger warning. I have a whole article about the fallers. So, that might be something that you might want to skip if you can't handle
for some
that,
people, yeah.
Yeah, that is but the fallers are the most revered part of 9/11 to me. Yeah.
I would agree. And I think that was like one of the good things when I read these articles by you is knowing that you were a 9/11, plain truther and things like that. And you finding this episode by Art Bell and doing the article on it was really good, breaking it down, and that Art Bell in the conspiracy world even did something kind of different that day, letting people talk to America and just get their feelings out. So
yeah, and I think it was important. And as we go along and play it, I do have some insight into why I think Art kind of used the format that he uses. But I honestly, like I listened to a little bit of Don Imus. And I guess I don't really know that much about him, but I know like he's supposed to be known for being like a jerk or something like that. Mm-hmm. And just a little bit.
Michelangelo's here.
I told him, yeah, Art Bell did 9/11. Well, all right. Good night, everyone. See ya.
It's solved.
Yep, it's solved. John Lear was right. But it's I think 9/11 is so varied, so there's so much depth to it. I mean, there are millions of different stories. There are the weird I almost died stories, like okay, he was a jerk and a racist. Okay, yep, that sounds about right. And I mean, are you telling me a radio DJ from the early 2000s was a jerk and a racist?
Right.
A morning DJ with zoo sounds. But there are so many different like unexplored stories of, I mean, not unexplored, but so many like tangential. So sure. I like to kind of dig into those and. Surprisingly, in a historical context, the first 9/11 online conspiracy theory actually emerged several hours after the collapse. Someone had posted on, I think it was like some kind of forum or something. They had said like, that looked like controlled demolition. And if they don't address the controlled demolition issue in a few hours, then they're behind it or something. But also Alex Jones on the day was like, did you say that? So he was right out the gate, controlled demolition and stuff. None of that on Howard. I only listened to a few minutes of Imus. Fox News was actually very respectable.
Which
And
is
Fox
so
News-
shocking.
Yeah, at one point in their broadcast, they had said, now we don't want to speculate. We want to wait till we have all the facts. I'm like, what's going on? But so I've watched like almost all of the news coverage for it. But the unique thing about Art is there were no conspiracies. There was no racism, no hate, they had gotten over the anger. Like, there was still anger and fear, but it was sadness. So people had a chance to process.
Happy fact that I wasn't sure of until this moment. He died in 2019.
Who? Don Imus?
The guy. Yeah, Imus. I'm sorry. Imus, the guy.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we can, we'll dive in here then. We'll start with, you want to start with Coast to Coast, and then we can, if we want to, switch to Howard Stern or however we want to.
Yeah.
Okay. God, Art's music. It's just feel good. Like it takes me back.
Giorgio Moroder, The Chase.
Takes you back.
From the high desert in the great American
Is that volume
Southwest,
good?
This is Coast to Coast AM, and I'm Art Bell. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, as the case may be across the world, and we will get into international coverage as the night wears on. This, of course, is Coast to Coast AM, and I've, like many of you, most of you probably, I've been up since early morning without rest, watching the horrific events of the day. And I've thought about what to do tonight all day long, and I have come to the conclusion that I cannot, nor should I try to out-expert CNN or any of the other large outlets. You've been getting that all day long since early morning. It's still going on now, and I expect days from now it will still be going on. The events in New York are just, a lot of faxers and emailers to me said, Art, there just aren't words.
There really weren't that day.
And yet, in radio and broadcasting, we deal in words. So I thought perhaps by this time of the night or morning, depending on your time zone, the best thing that I could possibly do would be to essentially open the lines and let all of you speak. Instead of just sort of sitting here and speculating, I'll let you speculate. There's no expert I could bring that would be more powerful than those CNN and others have had on the air. It's just as simple as that. So I'm going to open the phone lines here shortly. And I'm just going to let America speak to America. I know you've got a lot, by now you've got a lot of pent-up feelings, and I think that's the proper thing for me to do. What happened was compared by so many media outlets, to Pearl Harbor. It is certainly another day of infamy, but in my opinion, far more
I forgot about that too,
dastardly than
Muggsy.
Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor, at least, was an attack on the U.S. military. This was an attack on U.S. civilians. In New York City,
Oops, sorry.
Earlier today, I happened to speak with the president of our network, and I mean Premier Radio Network, the network that syndicates Rush Limbaugh, Dr. Laura, myself, Mike Reagan, and so many others. And when I spoke with him, I asked him if he would be so kind as to come on the air tonight with me for a moment and sort of give us a rough idea of the mood, the feeling, and what's going on in New York. And he agreed
I
come
want to
on, even
warn
at this late hour
everyone.
in New York, and it's a little after 1 o'clock in the morning in New York, of course. So
Go ahead, Steph.
Be prepared to feel slightly bad for Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, this was a little, I was like, oh, Rush?
He was in a very, I guess you would consider a perilous situation because he was in mid-flight while all of this was going down.
That
And
would
I
be pretty
can't
fucking
imagine-
terrifying.
Yeah.
No. I hate Rush, but I hated him. I mean, he's dead, but
except for 2112. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, but this was the unique thing about 9/11, and I think we all need to accept this fact, is that it was very humanizing. A lot of the people that died in the towers those days, they made their earning doing shady shit, financial shit.
Yeah.
But this was the moment of humanization, and so prepare to feel some
Feel a
empathy
little
for
bad
Rush.
for Rush.
Yes.
Which this will be a first.
Here from New York City is the president of this network, Craig Kitchen. Craig, welcome.
Good morning. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Where were you when all of this occurred, Craig?
I was in a building just above the very popular Radio City Music Hall marquee. Like so many other people in New York City, just starting what we would call just a normal business day. When we first heard the news of what really was the first, what we described as accident.
A lot of people did think it was an accident.
Thought that, after all this time and all that heavy traffic over New York City, that maybe one of those small consumer airplanes, the small civilian airplanes, might have accidentally flown into a tall building.
Oh, my. I can imagine, though, that would be the first thought, of course, that there had been some tragic accident. Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know who Geddy Lee is,
certainly
Muggsy.
The electronic news in New
Lead
York City,
singer of Rush.
The availability of television newscast and even the radio broadcast, very quickly.
I'm not that
informed
deep
us
into
that it was
Rush.
something much more than that, which is why I think so many people in New York City and probably to a lesser extent around the country had their televisions on, when we witnessed that just horrific picture that we'll always have in our minds of a commercial airliner just literally going right smack dab.
It was horrifying.
World Trade Center Tower number 2.
Yeah, burned into memories forevermore.
And I just wanted to
At the
point
time,
out,
you would know.
and this, from watching on the ground footage, from watching all the news coverage, from all the intense interest I put into the history of 9/11, the news and especially the conspiracy community got so much wrong. But one of the things that they got wrong was the initial impressions of accident.
Yeah.
And Chief Pfeiffer, Joseph Pfeiffer, he was the one who took the Naudet brothers into the towers to get the fucking historic footage.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with them when they caught the first plane. And most people just see the clip of the first one hitting, but as they're in the car, if you see the Naudet brothers documentary, as they're going, he calls in 4 alarms, then he ups it to 5. And he says it flew right at the building. And there were people on the ground. So, I mean, people on the ground in some ways knew more than the news people did.
Yeah, because they were right there.
This was a very unique moment where much of the news was coming from people on the ground into the newscasters. So it was very crowd-funded, the information. And so they get a lot of people who were there and witnessing this, they knew that.
Yeah.
They're like, it flew right for it. It was aiming for it. So a lot of people on the ground did know that it was deliberate. And, they kind of...
Michelangelo.
And he's just... that's Michelangelo. We
I know.
love you.
Love him. No,
But,
and it was interesting because when it happened, my husband he was in the Army. We're at Fort Polk in Louisiana, and our youngest, he was a baby just at the time, and Sean was 3 years old. And I had the Today Show on. It's what we did in the morning back then. That's what I used to do, and I'd watch the Today Show. And I looked up and I thought, oh, they're doing a special about the 1993 bombing at the World Trade Center. And I was like, oh, and then I saw the second plane hit and I was like, holy shit. That's when it struck me that, and it just went on from that. But as I recall the Today Show back then, I don't remember speculation. I think it was pretty immediate when I was watching it that we knew it was a terror attack or something bad happened, that it wasn't an accident, that it wasn't, at least from my memory of watching it, that, it wasn't this, maybe I think there was speculation at first, a small plane or whatever, like,
Yeah, they did. UBL's name did come up, and an interesting historical side note was UBL, spelled Osama but spelled with a U, was the FBI designator, and I noticed at the time, I'm like, every other newscast was spelling it with an O, but Fox was spelling it with a U, so that was actually an instance where they were being a little bit more factual than some of the other people in some ways. So yeah.
Michelangelo said he never saw his boss again. Her daughter was in the North Tower. She left New York immediately. She wasn't a casualty. Oh, wow.
Jesus. Wow.
About this, of course, everybody wanted to know what had happened to Rush. Where was Rush? Because it was right in that time period where all the confusion was going on. What, in fact, had happened to Rush?
Well, he had long planned to take today as a vacation day, and was on a plane on his way to the middle of the country to make an appearance today. And his long anticipated vacation day for himself turned into, as you pointed out, many people perceiving that he might not be available or in a place that was safe. In reality, he was in an airplane that, like a lot of other aircraft around this country, were forced to land, and then had to go about the process of getting himself home, and he eventually did, and back to a place that he could be on the air the last 30 minutes of the program.
Matter of fact, I caught a little bit of that program, Craig. Craig, as it became apparent what had happened in New York, what was it like in the city during the day?
The first 2 hours after the events, from 9:30 to 11:30 or so, was just a real mixture of emotion. Certainly, people were just caught in the moment. Many people crying or in tears or shaking with fear that either people that they knew were in the World Trade Center, or that some of the other high-profile buildings in New York City, the Empire State Building, for instance, Rockefeller Center, would be next, if you would, on the list of attacks. So there was certainly a great amount of fear, no panic, hushed comments, a lot of hugging. One building after another asked the employees of the building to vacate. And so the streets were absolutely full of people. And again, no panic, a very orderly process. Many people, as many as 6 million people, commute onto the Manhattan every day. And of course, instantly the subways were closed.
It was instantaneous. It happened so fast. They did respond quickly once they knew what was going on.
Outpouring onto the streets of just millions of people. You have the exits off of the island temporarily disconnected. As a result, people sought hotel rooms and apartments.
I can't imagine what it was like.
Those that they knew on the island, so that they had a place to go. And so by almost noon New York time, the city had become very quiet again, almost as New York City was on the mute button that you would hold on your television remote control.
Wow.
To the extent that there was no
as he
subway
talks
trains
when we go
underneath,
along through this,
no
so
aircraft
Art has a
overhead.
knack for moving
That
people
must have
along
been
too.
very,
He knows how much time he
very
has
eerie
for each
you.
caller,
It
and he's
is,
like, "Okay, that's enough. Next,
disturbingly.
I'll take this
Even
over.
6 hours
I'll take this
later,
over."
He's
He was just
very
genius.
good.
Which is normally
Yeah.
reserved for just the heaviest rush hour. You could see photographers from some of the news press in the middle of the lanes of some of the busiest streets, in Times Square and on 6th Avenue.
Sorry, buddy.
Just taking pictures of, if you will, the city 40 or 50 blocks away from what everybody in your audience tonight has seen on television, taking pictures of what will be the only time in Manhattan where nobody was on Avenue of the Americas. Not
Is
a
that what it
single
was called?
car.
Avenue of the
It's
Americas?
incredible.
Yeah, really, for the number of millions of
I didn't know that.
Americans who live here. You're right. It's really a stark contrast to what's normal.
I wonder what kind of day New York City will have later today, your time zone. What will happen in New York?
Well, they have suggested that schools will be open tomorrow in Manhattan, that the banks will be open, that businesses will be open. In some ways, it almost forces the routine of America to kind of continue.
Sure.
But even in hushed terms, you can hear people around Manhattan who are not necessarily ready to go back to do business because it's such a superficial almost callous-like disrespect, for what has gone on literally less than 2 miles away, where we just know that there are potentially thousands
they're
of people
so calm
buried under
and
the rubble
like
of almost
reassuring
4,000
when
4
they're
million
talking
square
about
feet
all
of
of
office
this,
space that
which I
has
think
just
was
crumbled
what
in front
Art
of us.
offers during this too.
The president seemed to suggest at the core of his message, perhaps, and that's where they're taking this from, that we can't be defeated by terrorism and will not be defeated by terrorism. Steel and concrete may be, but we are not. And so people from that may be taking the message that they should pick up and continue. Craig, I can't thank you enough for coming on the air. I wanted to give some sense, since you were right there in the middle of it all, what the city was like tonight, and you gave that to me.
Excellent. Well, good luck, and I'm very fortunate that you're in a place tonight that Americans all over the country can speak. I'm sure that they've listened a whole lot, and I'm sure there's a place for some of the emotion to come across.
Yeah,
tonight.
people did need that.
Obviously, an excellent forum, and you're just the person to allow people to share.
Thank you, Craig.
Okay.
Good night.
And
All right,
here's
that's Craig Kitchen, president of
Go ahead.
Premier Radio Networks.
here's where I just wanted to, and I think this would be the good place to kind of bring this up. Now, Art was in a very unique position. And I'm comparing this to Stern, to CNN, to Fox, to everyone else. Art, the Building 7 fell around 5 p.m. that day. So that was the last of the events that happened.
Yeah.
And so Art had over 12 hours between the time of the last event and then, the time differential, because he was in Nevada. So he had time for for everything to be sorted out. There was really nothing to report at the time. No. And he also had all day to see what other people were doing. And I think he did kind of get some inspiration. And one of the reasons why I also listened to the Howard Stern show was because I had started listening to that before. And I remember a clip of Howard saying, what's the point of staying on the air? And someone says, they need to talk to you. And all these people keep calling in and saying, thank you for staying on the air. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. They're pumping him up.
Mm-hmm.
But Howard was also dealing with cell phone issues and just regular because the North Tower had the big antenna on it. Hello.
I know she's Jerry Springer. That's the chairman of Antifa.
Hello,
she was just on. I told you she was on. Donnie Sullivan had interviewed her, but continue. It's really good.
Oh yeah, he was saying I had a Zoom with him, and then I never heard back. So I don't know, but congratulations. What was I saying?
We were talking about Howard Stern's phone issues and how he was.
So Art had this advantage of all this time had passed. Howard was still trying to figure out how many freaking planes were still considered potentially hijacked. They knew it was 4 planes. They had the numbers of the people on the planes. They had the plane numbers listed by that time. So there was nothing to report. And he probably saw, Howard doing this, and he probably saw other people doing this where people just need to talk. So I'm there, and I, as mushy as I want to be towards Art, we do have to look at it that there may be a bit of a cynical, like he was, if he really was up all day and he's not sleeping, he's not thinking,
no,
and
you're
not focusing.
Point, he says, I don't know if we played over it already. He says, I'm going to open the phone lines and let people speculate. And then he switches it to talking. He catches himself, I think, when he realizes maybe speculate's not the right word. And then it goes into, there's some Art Bell that's in this, but it's very comforting for those people in that conspiratorial world to have a little basis in reality and to be able to share their feelings. And it didn't get ugly. It wasn't conspiratorial. Well, there is remote viewing. But it didn't get 9/11 conspiracy level yet.
Yeah. There was no madness. The remote viewing, it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
John
it's typical for
Ronson
art.
wrote a
I
book.
mean,
John Ronson wrote a book about it. It was called Stargate Project, which is a back-ass name. It should have been Project Stargate, but whatever. You know, as long as we
It
can make
happens.
those goats' hearts explode. Thank you, Ed James.
in New York City. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. As I said at the top of the show, there's no way I can out, nor will I try to out experts, CNN and the others. This is talk radio, and so I'm going to let you all talk. Now, I have one caveat to that. Any of my guests, previous, present, or for that matter, ones that have not been on yet, who would like a word with a national audience, and I'm going to keep it short in every case.
he does.
Are welcome to contact my network.
I think I counted,
office
and it's,
in Medford,
as I wrote
Oregon.
down my notes,
That would be the way to get on
40
the air. They'll filter,
callers,
the calls there and
including
relay
that
them
first
to
guy
me.
that was on, his producer.
And if I think something is appropriate to put on the air, I will do so. My network phone number in Medford, Oregon is area code 541-664-8829. Once again,
Guys, don't
area
call the
code
number. You're not going to talk to Art. He has passed away.
8829. So if you're
Making his
somebody who has
ghost.
something
Okay,
to
wait. I
contribute
have a
in
movie
the,
pitch.
What's
category
that?
of-
Okay, it's like that stupid Jim Caviezel movie Frequency, except it's better and Jim Caviezel's not in it. Someone picks up a microphone at an auction. They don't know where they got it from. It turns out it belonged to Art. And not only can they talk to Art through this magic microphone, they can talk to all of the famous radio hosts from all of history. You know, the guy's just playing with the microphone one day. He's like, "Hey, Art," and then suddenly Father Coughlin's voice comes out. He's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Great movie. No idea what the ending is, but
No.
you know.
Somebody said they're calling the number, and Michelangelo
Do
said, I call it
it.
every night and talk to Art. So it
Do
really
it.
is ghost to ghost AM now, right?
Yeah. But
any
it's
of the guests that
great.
I've had on
Yeah,
over the years,
it really
or
is.
even those I have not, you're welcome to call that number, and they will screen those calls and pick out what they think is important. And perhaps we'll get some of that on the air. But by and large, what I'm going to do the night through is to let all of you say what you want to say. I can't think of any greater nor more important service right now than to do that in these late hours. You have the phone numbers. If you don't, we'll give them out shortly. So in a moment, we will get underway with all of that. Once again, I'm going to assume that my audience is very well aware of what has occurred during the day, so I'm not going to regurgitate all of the facts for you. I will get any new information as it breaks on the air, but I'm not going to sit here and regurgitate all the horrible facts to you. I'm just going to let you speak. I think it's the wise thing to do.
Sorry for laughing.
As I listened around, I hardly heard
I-
any of that going on.
I'm
So
just picturing
we shall do-
in my mind what the reaction of the very last person to find out about 9/11 was. And I'm playing it out in
Can
my
you
mind.
imagine? The whole world
Yeah,
knows, and they're the very last person. They're like, "The fuck happened?
Excuse me, what?
What? What?
Yeah.
Something big happened?"
My mind always goes off in those skits, and I was like that before the
First
dollar.
time caller line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Where are you?
Binghamton, New York.
Okay.
I'm a little ways away from the city. I'm not sure if you know exactly
This first call is interesting because it talks about Big Brother. I just took a note into my head to remember that. But this first call was very interesting.
about that is.
About how far from New York City are you?
About 2 hours.
Okay.
I just wanted to say the mood here, even upstate, it's
Michelangelo said they don't know yet.
In a tragedy
What if
like
there are people that still don't know?
It hits every one of us, and I think that we go through stages of shock, and then maybe anger. For me right now, it's still squarely in the shock category.
We have a lot of our National Guard members. The lines for donating blood, it's just phenomenal. It's like a 6-hour wait. Even here, it's incredible.
Well, maybe I'll ask you what I thought I would ask everybody as a general question. It's
Well, there
a
go my
simple
notes.
question,
I just spilled
straightforward.
soda everywhere,
How do
but
you
it's
think
all
this
right.
will
It's not on my
change America?
computer.
That's I don't know. It's
We'll
definitely remember it forever.
It has but more than that, it has the possibility of changing our lives. That the response to this and the sudden knowledge that we are this vulnerable will produce all kinds of things that some will say will threaten freedom.
Yeah.
And that's worth considering how much of a trade-off you're willing to make, whether you're willing to sacrifice some of your freedom for more security, because that is what it will come down to.
I would be willing to sacrifice more of my freedom.
You would?
Yeah, definitely.
In the form of what? More security?
More security, definitely.
More Big Brother?
More Big Brother.
That guy's like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I appreciate your call, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. And, let me ask all of you that. How do you think this will change America? Because there is indeed going to be a profound
No more
change.
notes. Soggy mess.
I would like to remind my international listeners that you can reach us, and the following process will help you get to us. Canada, of course, can use the U.S. 800 numbers. However, if you're outside the U.S. Canadian areas, you would simply go to my
Shit,
website.
take my freedom, daddy.
liveout.com,
Yes, that's what it was like, Michelangelo.
and
They're
you
like,
would,
yeah,
you
I'm
would go down
ready.
to, let me see, Interact on the left-hand side in the yellow area. Go to Interact. Go to call-in numbers, and when you do, you will see codes for almost every country in the world. You might try dialing with that code, and then, of course, once you've dialed that code, dial our 800 number, which is toll-free from anywhere in the world. It's 800-893-0903. That's 800-893-0903. Toll-free from anywhere in the world. Wildcard line, you're on the air.
Yes, Mer, it was.
Good morning,
Hi, Mer.
Mark.
Welcome,
Yes,
by
sir.
the way.
Good morning. Where are you?
This is Mike calling from Austin, Texas, listening to you on the internet this morning.
Yes, sir.
It's been quite a day, to say the least. But I
Because Mer made that comment about Muslim Americans being attacked, that happened. It was not interesting. It was really sad. We at Fort Polk. I said we were stationed down there, and there was a Walmart, and I remember it was within a week of it happening. There was an Indian woman who was working there, like from India, and she had the I don't know what that's called, the dot thing that they wear. I'm not sure. I don't want to be disrespectful. I can't think of the name right now. But
Bindi.
she was being attacked. Yeah. And she said she was already having slurs thrown at her, leave this country. Like she was already scared, and she was a cashier at Walmart, and her husband was in the military, and it was already starting that rapid. It was Bindi. Thank you so much, Michelangelo. And it had already started, and my heart just went out to her. I mean, it was, and that was just two people talking in Walmart, just a small interaction of how things were about to happen,
to approach an angle that, I think your show's the perfect forum for, because I haven't heard anywhere on any of the national media outlets the mere mention, although there's a little buzz on the internet stirring up about connections with Nostradamus.
Oh, Nostradamus, here we go.
And specifically, the one that Major Ed Dames
I'll drop that link again
a while back that was talking about terror from the sky.
Yes.
And there's a great number of people that are saying that Nostradamus may have been off on the time, as you're probably aware, timelines
Are the most difficult.
Right. So what they said is a lot of people were talking that perhaps this was indicating a nuclear attack on the new city, terror from the sky, and, the man in the blue turban and all of that. But I really think that this is what Nostradamus could have been envisioning, was a terror from the sky that was visited on us today. In the new city, I'm pulling up actually a prophecy.
Nostradamus, baby.
That Major Ed Dames, the one that talked about terror from the sky, but there's one I'll read to you. It says, "In the city of gold, there will be a great thunder, two brothers torn apart by chaos. While the fortress endures, the great leader will succumb. The third big war will begin when the city is burning. And there are a lot of people that are speculating that the two brothers torn apart by chaos.
Yes, obviously, the Twin Towers, yes.
Absolutely.
All right, got it. Thank you very much. Also on my website right now, and let me answer the international line and just say, hold on a moment. If you'll check my
by the
website,
way-
one interesting item, this is all...
The whole Nostradamus 9/11 thing, it was all bullshit. That was, I mean, predictions are a crapshoot anyway. But the 9/11 stuff, it was spread online. It was an early viral internet meme, and not real.
Oh, that's horrible. My coworker who was Sikh, her uncle was killed by some asshole on 9/11.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's awful, Mina. Jesus, Chairman.
I'm so
that's
sorry.
Terrible. Oh, gosh. Wow. Fucking people.
9/11 killed
tonight,
the
yes.
John Titor
I am
story.
tonight, yes, there is no specific guest tonight. We canceled our guest. There's an alternate prophecies Nostradamus news group. And in that news group it was the following message. Something is going to happen tomorrow. This is a witness.
There was
against
always something that was going to
everyone on this
happen
news group.
tomorrow, Art. That's what they did.
I hate this news group. And
That's
everyone on
Alex's
its sides.
model.
Repent, you are all evil liars. Do not be so evil and be holy. You're going to get me killed because of the truth of
All
my
I hear is
mouth.
Space
I am
Ghost.
not telling
I'm
you
sorry,
what is going
but
to
all I
happen
hear is
until
Space
it does.
Ghost.
Because an evil and adulterous generation seeks
Please
for
correct
a sign.
me.
Now,
Was
that's the
Space
message.
Ghost based
It was meant
on that? Was the Space Ghost Coast to Coast based on this?
I not sure. Maybe they'll know. I don't know.
Because I remember watching that as a
it.
kid, and like
Yeah.
Space Ghost was always sitting at his desk, grabbing his like wrists for some reason, and Brack and the guy with the funky. Okay, Michelangelo says no, and he is the final.
He's
final
older than
say
Art. Okay.
and everything. Okay.
I think originally to be on the 1st of September, or that somebody thought something was going to happen on the 1st of September. But then he mentioned in 7 days he would be leaving. And of course that brings the date to exactly today. So you might take a look at that. It's on my website. That's something that Keith just dug up. And if you go to program tonight's guest info, and then just once you get there, scroll down. There is a link to that news group and that specific message, and you might look around yourself and see what you think. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Teresa
Hi, Teresa. Where are you?
from Tennessee.
Okay.
It was so eerie. Well, I just wanted to say I'm glad that you're on the show tonight.
Thank you.
I was worried that we wouldn't be able to hear Art Bell.
You were worried she wouldn't hear
Well,
Art.
I'm
I don't
glad
want to
you
miss
can,
Art.
And I should note here, no doubt, some large number of affiliates are off into their own continuing coverage of this. So
Exactly.
I'm not sure even how many affiliates we have. Probably quite a number, though.
Well, I'm very glad that you're on tonight. It was really strange, the previous caller about Nostradamus, because I was gonna
Nostradamus
talk about
again,
that,
they
but
love
he
it.
already covered, what everybody else is thinking.
Yes.
But my heartfelt thoughts is about the children. The kids. How are they going to see the world now?
How true.
And
I saw a psychiatrist on one of our local Las Vegas channels advising people not to tell the small ones about this
Right.
at all. Better just not.
I just like that was hard, and I get what Art was saying and the psychologist, but the kids were watching their parents like I said, Sean was 3 at that time, and Nicholas was just a couple months old baby, and I was crying, and Sean was like, "Mommy, why are you crying?" Like you can't avoid because it was so emotional, and I was like, "Buddy," and I had to tell him, in a childlike way, I said some very bad guys flew some planes into some buildings and hurt people, and mommy's really sad. But that's as far as, like, it's the same with sex talk or anything you do with your kids. You age progress it, you know? And that's kind of, I talk to him as if I was 3 and I was a little kid and my mommy was crying, you know, you have to.
Not tell them about it at all.
But see, it's been.
Mer was young during this. She was in school.
And everything, it'd be very hard.
I remember when
if your
kids were
child
super
is
frightened.
old
I
enough
bet.
to sit there and look at a bulletin or see CNN, then you're probably going to have to say something. But for the very little ones, they're advising.
Well, yeah, I don't have any kids, but I'm just, worried about how they'll feel the day after,
It's going to go a lot further than the day after. This is going to be
I
with
know.
us always. All right, thank you very much.
Art, you had no
Take
idea.
care. That is what we're going to do. We're going to pretty much be in open lines all night long, and we're going to just listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, you're right, Michelangelo.
I'm sure you're
exactly.
well aware
A lot of, I'm sure that,
as they've taken place in New York.
kids were
now.
doing that too, making jokes.
There really are almost no words, and yet you have to find them if you do a radio program.
They've done
I'm
it
Art
since
Bell.
the Challenger. There's a good article. I'll find it, but they talk about bad jokes and people dealing with tragedies, and it's just how people deal with some stuff, I'll look for it while we're sitting here listening to Art here. I love Art's transitions. Can I just say the way, like, with this music, and then the number comes in, Art's a comfy blanket. He really is. Not a great guy. He's, he's Art, but where is that article? Ooh, I can feel it. Plus, it's Phil Collins.
I had myself muted. Sorry. I dropped that link is for my 9/11 museum photos.
Oh, where was that at? Is it in our chat stuff?
Yeah, the Google Drive link.
Okay, I'll share that.
No,
In the
public.
Kingdom of
Oh,
Nod.
okay,
From
public.
west of the Rockies, dial 1-800-618-8255. East of the Rockies, 1-800-825-5033. First-time callers may reach Art at 1-775-727-1222.
Right there on
Or
the
use
screen,
the
Steph,
wildcard
that's
line
her
at
photos from visiting 9/11.
1-775-727-1295.
You were there with Sassy, right?
To reach Art on the toll-free international line, call your AT&T operator and have them dial 800-893.
You were there with Sassy, correct, Steph?
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, we did not wear those T-shirts to the actual museum. We brought a change. We wore the shirts for a photo op, and we changed before we went to the museum. We didn't want to wear those shirts there. And
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
This is
The,
Coast to Coast.
The photo if you do look through the photos, the name on the memorial plaque was Colleen Sapinski, and that was the woman whose obituary I wrote when I worked at the Express Times in Easton, Pennsylvania. And I was told to alert the news department to any obit, because I sometimes helped out with obits and stuff. I was told to alert the news department if we got any 9/11 obits. I didn't know Colleen, probably have nothing in common with her. But I figured, she was the thing that kept me from denying 9/11 completely.
Really?
Because the next step after no planes is that they work you incrementally. The next step is no one died. And I saw Simon trying to push that on his September Clues website, saying all of the victims never died. And I knew that wasn't true because I wrote an obituary for one of them. So
yeah, I remember you saying that, which is so, oh, wow.
AM with Art Bell on the Premier Radio
Michelangelo
Network.
said he calls it
Good
every
morning.
night and talks
As
to
I
Art.
told you, I'm not going to
Oh, wait,
try
that's
and
old.
out-expert
Never mind. I
the
got to scroll down.
experts and
He
the
said he wishes he had
CNNs
this
of the
number.
world. They're doing a very, very good job of that. I thought my
He'd answer every call.
job, rather, was to clear the decks, clear the
East
air.
of the Rockies. This is
and let all of
Michelangelo.
you
You're on
speak.
air. No
That's
swearing. Turn off your
exactly what I'm
radio.
going to do. Up with a word for us in a moment Whitley Strieber, who would like to say something. So that's coming right up. Stay right there.
Aliens.
All
That's
right.
what Whitley wants to say.
I'm not sure what that was.
I'm not saying
all
it was
right,
aliens, but it was
everybody,
aliens.
I think I'm in shock myself. Since early morning, my wife, Ramona, came in and woke me and said, "You've got to get up right away." That was shortly after 8 o'clock. And since then, until now, that's all I've done is watch CNN. And it absolutely puts you into a
How
state
much
of,
they
of
watch
shock.
CNN during
that
this
is my
and
current
how
state.
respected
I'm
it
assessing
still is.
myself.
Like,
I'm kind of
it's
in shock.
all, we're watching the footage of
Here
CNN.
from near San Antonio, Texas, is Whitley Strieber. Whitley, old friend, hi.
Hey, Art.
How you doing?
Well, not too well. I would think I'm in shock, too. I sat down at my desk this morning right after I got a phone call, I believe, from my brother telling me that this had happened, that the first plane had hit, and at the time, of course, we thought it was an accident. Over the course of this day, I learned what it really means to run a news.
Oh yeah, Whitley and him.
Which I've been doing
Steph
for
said,
about a year.
when did you say Whitley first came on here, Steph? I lost my notes.
1995 was the first episode, and you can access that through our database. Thank you again to Fudgy. Everyone
Let
should
me
donate.
share that again as we're talking about the database. It's really cool.
And Fudgy did a project for a friend of mine. I'm not going to say what it was, but you can access that database through Fudgy's main link, which is just fight.fudgy.org. I won't say what friend it was for, but he did an amazing job. And if you have any projects that need to be transcribed, if you're lurking on Telegram, listening to a bunch of nut jobs talk about trying to like blow up a substation or something, Fudgy can help you with transcribing recordings. He can create a searchable database for you. Please donate.
And just to look at it real
genius.
quick, like he has from Alex Jones, he has the debunk shows on there, Intellectual Dark
A lot
Web.
are in Finnish. A lot, like the Hell World is in Finnish, but you can still listen to it. You can't read the transcript, but you can access all of these podcasts through here. And shout out to Molly Conger's Weird Little Guys, one of my new favorites.
Yeah, but it's really incredible what Fudgy has done with all of that. Like, just incredible. And you can also, I'm going to put his Buy Me a Coffee. If you do use this, it is on his website. You can do that. But if you do, I did today because I used it a lot. So I'll share that too. But yeah, absolutely. Like his search engines, hands down, like just amazing. If you're into, even if you're not a researcher, if you just want to watch and listen to this stuff and find certain clips or this guest or that guest. I mean, it's just incredible what he's done.
We posted, I think, over the course of the day, 40 stories from some of them from the news media, some of them that came in directly to us, and some of them that we picked up here and there. And it was an appalling, awesome, just amazingly emotional experience.
Yes.
And the calls from New York, from Washington, calls from people who string for our website, people who are just friends. It was absolutely amazing. Looking at my message boards and seeing this huge, just vast outpouring of what people are saying, and there was one story that it just did something for me, and that is the story from the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Oh.
240 miles above the Earth, Frank Cuthbertson and two Russian cosmonauts saw, they could actually see the fires from the World
Can you imagine?
I'm sure they could.
Cuthbertson said this: as we went over Maine, we could see New York City and the smoke from the fires. Our prayers and our thoughts go out to all of the people there and everywhere else. Incredible. The vastness of what has happened, that the the skyline of the world city has been changed forever.
And, I think I'll ask you what I'm going to ask everybody else tonight. It's a simple question. How do you think this will change America? Because it will change
Boy, did it
America.
fucking change us, Art.
And the ultimate irony is that we know the reason that flying on airplanes now is so difficult is directly because of 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11 created the TSA. The ultimate irony is that in order to get into the 9/11 Memorial Museum in Manhattan, you have to go through a TSA check.
Really?
You have to take your shoes off and put electronic device. And I'm standing there and I'm looking around and I'm hoping that other people are wide-eyed in shock and flowing with orgasmic irony like I am, but everybody else is just like, do. I'm like, I wanted to scream, doesn't anybody see how ironic this is?
Right?
It was, I
didn't know that.
Maybe that's part of the museum. Maybe, it's
the
like
experience,
security, but they're like, yeah, the 9/11 experience. But it's very postmodern. It's very human centipede.
Real quick while we paused, I just wanted to, there's a good article, and I want to say, like, thinking about, we have friends. I know somebody's mother who evacuated from the fires that are happening in California. 2 other friends, I've seen film footage from outside their houses and pictures, like, hope everybody's safe, doing what you can during this time. I know it's hard. I've seen nursing homes getting evacuated and stuff. So I just wanted to briefly just mention that. And there's a good article a writer wrote for Rolling Stone, so I'm going to share that. But I did want to say, we're thinking about everybody, and it's just, it's so tragic what's going on right now.
Same way it is in New York. I had calls from friends who were talking. In one case, someone who was actually in a meeting who was within just really literally across the street from the World Trade Center and saw the whole thing unfolding, and he said, "We will prevail."
We will prevail. I have no doubt about it. We will change.
Thanks, Burr. If you do see the mutual age, you can DM them to me or in the Discord or anywhere, and I'll share those mutual aids if you come across them for the fire. I appreciate that.
And keep in mind, not everyone affected by this is some wealthy, like, Hollywood, like, executive. Just keep that in mind.
Exactly. They're already making and cooking conspiracies about it, and people are hurting right now, and even if they were rich and wealthy, how fucking terrible do you have to be like, haha, you bought this natural disaster on you? Like, do better, people.
From a security point of view, maybe from what we regard as some of our basic freedoms point of view, there's going to be that challenge, the security aspect against the freedom aspect.
When I was growing up, my dad was a sort of a minor politician, but he was a very devoted American.
Whitley Strieber's dad was a politician?
He used to say, never to forget this, that it takes courage to be free, and it takes toughness. You got to be tough to be free. And boy, are we learning the truth of those words now.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Whitley, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Art.
Steph, real quick, you said, and I did not know, I never realized this, but just because we're on Whitley and Art's friendship, that they wrote a book that was then turned into the movie The Day After Tomorrow. And that was something I learned from you. I had no idea about that. None.
Yeah, and my mind was kind of blown when I first learned that. Art was, and this is one point I also did want to bring up, he understood that climate change was a real thing, but in true conspiracy theorist fashion. And I saw Day After Tomorrow when it had just first come out, and I think this was 2004. So because my BFF and I, we love disaster porn. Like Twister gave us like orgasms.
Oh, Volcano, like all those movies are just so good.
Yeah, it's so fun. You're like, everyone's gonna die, but this is cool.
Who's gonna be the hero of this?
Yeah. So it was a good movie. It was fun.
I like it.
But I remember, everybody was like, "Oh, this is so unrealistic. It's like hyperbolic and stuff." So, but they're conspiracy theorists. They believed in global warming and climate change, but they, like it had to be a little bit more ridiculous. But also, I wonder if the movie and the book and all that, I wonder if it actually brought more positive attention on global warming, or did it bring more negative attention because, it made it look ridiculous.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Nope. Interesting. I didn't know that. And now I kind of want to go back and watch it
We've been friends for
with that new knowing.
Sure, this is going to change us, but indeed, you bet we'll prevail. Oh, you bet we will. I've been watching the speculation about who they think did it. And they obviously don't know for sure yet who did it. Osama bin Laden, maybe.
Bin Laden.
But no firm ID yet. It was an act of war. An absolute act of war. In all likelihood, more people died today in New York, still my time zone today, than died at Pearl Harbor. Somewhere I have the figures for how many died at Pearl Harbor, and it was over 2,000 soldiers and a far lesser number of civilians. So that'll give you an idea of scale. And everybody, is of course comparing this to Pearl Harbor. And I guess that's fair. This just was a far more cowardly act, in my opinion, because this was actually aimed at civilians, whereas at least in Pearl Harbor, they were after military assets, which is what you do in war.
Oh, okay, Mur. I'll get those. Thank you so much. While we're listening here, I'll post those. Thanks, Mur.
You know how war has changed. On my international line, you're on the air. Hello there.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Where are you, please?
I'm calling from Sydney in Australia.
Sydney. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, of course, with the time difference, I'm working in my office here, and of course it's night time over there. And I was just wanted to say it's unbelievable. Absolutely, it's just unbelievable. We can't believe it here.
What is the reaction like in Australia?
Oh, sadness, incredible sadness. We can't believe it. I was going to bed last night about 11, and I thought I'd just have a look at the news before I went to bed.
Yes.
They just got the first film footage of the first tower.
Yes.
And I woke my husband up and said, "Oh, you won't believe what's happened. A plane has smashed into one of the Twin Towers." And we just thought it was an accident, a terrible accident.
That's what apparently everybody thought.
And then as we were watching this, all of a sudden, bang, went the other tower. And then we realised, oh, no, this is
Real
terrible.
quick, just breaking into the Australian lady. I'm going to be posting some of the mutual aids that Mur has shared. So they'll be down in the comments too for everyone for the fires and everything that's going on right now in California and LA.
And not long after that, the news about the Pentagon, and then the news about some planes circling the White House. And
that was not supposed to.
We were just
how do I
watching
delete
it,
that?
and
That's the wrong thing.
Suddenly the first tower collapsed, and then the next
Ignore
tower
that. That's
collapsed.
the channel thing. I did the wrong thing. I didn't open it up. That was wrong.
We're here in Australia. We're in shock that it's happened, and I don't know how the American public are viewing this, but in Australia, the people I've talked to seem to think this is an act of war.
It is an act of war, yes, and I think we view it that way. There's somewhere here I've got a recent, here it is, a Gallup poll. I'll let you know what the American people think right now. It says more than half, 55% in fact, said they thought Tuesday's attacks represent the beginning of a sustained terrorist campaign against the U.S. that will continue for several weeks or more. 3 in 10 disagreed. Almost 9 in 10 said they considered the attacks an act of war. I said 9 in 10. Half were very confident in the president's ability to handle
what
the
is wrong with me?
situation. Another third somewhat confident. 9 in 10 said the attacks were the most tragic events of their lifetime. So there you have a quick read on what Americans think.
It's terrible. It's really terrible. And
it is.
What really shook us here was we've never really had a terrorist attack here in Australia. And we just feel so sorry for those people in the airplane, and just the way it seemed to have been timed to make sure that there was a maximum amount of police and firemen and
That's right.
other emergency personnel that would be there and would be killed in the second. You know, they just seem to just aim for maximum amount of casualties, and that's the thing that's most shocking here, that someone can just go to work in the morning and that's it.
And
Over
that's
for them.
yeah.
And it's caused, I don't know if you're aware of here, but we've had a lot happening here with the Afghani and Pakistan refugees constantly trying to get into our country. And we actually turned back a boat last week. We refused to let them land. And we turned back another 2 boats. And they're actually going to Papua New Guinea and Nauru.
I posted 3 mutual aid links down there. They're links to Instagrams,
we weren't really
if you're
keen on these
interested.
people coming
Or
here
you
in the
can
first
help or
place
share them.
because we already have a policy of a refugee policy through proper channels.
This
All right, listen, I'm going to have to leave, but
when she started talking about the refugees and she started getting a little tad, she was getting a little bit racist. And he was like, okay, we're moving along. Like, Art didn't want to touch on that, which I thought was interesting.
But I want to point out to people, and this is important to see, patterns that emerge throughout history of human beings just being stupid throughout all of history, and we have different words for it now than we did then. I mean, for example, there are instances of targeted individuals being reported as far back as, I think they said, the 1600s. Well, back then, that would have been demons tormenting them, not so. But we have, oh crap, I think I forgot what I was going to say. My God, my brain is just absolute
We're
dog
old,
shit.
Steph. I think after you turn 21, things go downhill.
so old, don't get old.
No.
Unless you're Benjamin Button. But I'm trying to refine my...
We were talking about, I was talking about how she started getting a little bit racist about refugees and immigrants. Yeah.
The thinking, and even after 9/11, and you heard more of this on Howard, was the ones that are already here are okay, but we don't want other, it's the threat is exterior. And this woman lives in Australia. So they had this thought of the threat being exterior, and that was kind of where we let down our guard after Oklahoma City. We were focused on interior threats. But you see with every big event that has happened since 9/11, it's always immigration. And it's always been immigration. When the plague was in San Francisco, they cut off the entirety of Chinatown.
It's the othering of groups, right? You other them, that's fine.
And be it a disease, be it a disaster, natural or man-made, whatever it is, it's, I mean, Jesus Christ, you have, I don't know, someone from who's legally here from Mexico working on a bridge and they're doing a good job. They're a mechanic, they're an engineer, blah, 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 blah. And something happens to that bridge 30 years later. They're going to focus on that guy. So, but
That's
it's
correct.
It's always
great replacement theory. Yep.
Yeah. And it's always, we've always been like that where I
know.
I mean, for God's sake, there was a time when people were like, "Oh, those Irish! Oh, the Irish!"
Oh, I know. Yeah, we've always been. Human beings are shit, but there's some good in humans. I like to see the good. I do think there are some good, but human beings are just shit too.
And a lot, and one thing that we cannot ever deny. 9/11 is known for the historical significance of being the most filmed event, but it is also known for the horrific loss of life. But in the middle of that, all of this beauty came out of it. And I'm not saying it was worth it, but all of these projects started, like sociologists and folklorists began recording people's recollections. And people began, after a certain time period had gone by, they began taking down the flyers and collecting those flyers and saving those flyers and listening to it became this amazing like, it's so voluminous. Like they're as much as I've done. Oh yeah. After the flood, all the colors came out. Every silver lining has a touch of gray. But it's very. That's why I enjoy studying 9/11, because people are like, why would you study something so morbid and horrible? Because there is. God, can you imagine anything just that day?
I know.
And
I do think there's some beauty that came out of the tragedy, just like, Michelangelo posted.
The art, and I still haven't seen the movie yet, but I know I really, really have to. It's by Jonathan Safran, extremely loud and incredibly close. It's a fictional story about a kid who loses his dad on 9/11, and his dad left
I haven't seen
all
that.
these little. His dad left little clues for him. They would do this little like geocaching hunt, and and so the kid has to find the last clues that his dad left before he died or something.
Oh gosh.
And it's by Jonathan Safran, who did Everything is Illuminated.
Okay.
So
I'll have to check
but
that out.
But there's so much art and stories that came out of it, and there is a whole generation that has passed since then. It's been over 20 years. Like,
when you think about it, gosh, it just.
And the nice
I got
thing,
old fast. It just seems like it happened yesterday. I mean, there we were at Fort Polk. I had a 3-year-old and a baby, and now one's getting married. I mean, the passage of time it was like that.
Yeah, and it was also, I think, the last time. I mean, we were talking about the racism, so I guess for the exclusion of some people, but we didn't have the culture wars. And if you were an American, you were an American at least for 24 hours.
Yeah, everybody was so joined together at that point.
It was just like one little, like, if we could freeze that moment of unity and just I agree, it's sad. It's sad that it takes this for us to come together. It's sad that
I don't think we'll ever have it again. 9/11 was unique.
No,
and it changed everything for the worse. And I don't think we'll ever have that again, sadly.
And we made it worse by attacking. And,
no, gosh,
everybody was so into going over there. And
we're here that there's going to be a 19-year-old on here who talks about possibly joining the army. And I was like, my heart, because so many people did after 9/11.
I imagine we'll hear from other
I
Australians
lost a friend
during the night. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Take care.
awful. How many?
I'm still in shock. I mean, I've been up all day long since very early morning, and I thought, I should get some sleep, and so I went to bed late afternoon, and I tried, and it just it would not come. Sleep would not come. Try as I might, my mind would not quiet. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Good evening, Art.
Hi.
This is Jay, and I share your shock. I thank your caller from Australia for her sympathies also. I'm calling from Southern Oregon.
Yes, sir.
In the beautiful Illinois Valley. I did grow up within eyesight of the New York City skyline, right on Route 3, major channel into the Lincoln Tunnel. And I feel like I've been up for days after I leaped out of bed.
It did feel so long.
That is the feeling. I mean, at this hour, I sort of realized, self-diagnosed.
I dropped my phone in the toilet.
I've been in shock all day.
It was, that day was just so long. I mean,
it was the worst day to drop my phone in a toilet.
Right? Yeah, and we were on a military post, and it shut down immediately. The barricades went up, and I was a bartender on post at that time. I don't think it was longer maybe than a week before we were even allowed to go back to work. I mean, and it was just, our housing was considered on post housing, but it was right outside of the gates. And they even put Humvees and Bradleys out in front of us. I mean, it was really, you got militarized just like that. It changed immediately, everything.
Possible. Just impossible.
I didn't plan on commenting on this, but the internet sure took a hit today. I didn't have any TV all day. I had to access the internet, and it was very difficult to obtain any news, but I did have NPR tuned in.
Wouldn't listen to NPR today.
I just want to make a couple comments. And I
That's
do have a
fake
dream,
news media.
To relate to
Or
you
CNN.
That's related. Well, my dad was in New York City. That was the thrust of my concern this morning, was getting to work and getting on a line where I could try and contact Dad. He works on Wall Street. Finally, he called me about noon my time here on the West Coast, and he was okay. He made it to
Good. Now, we don't have a lot of time here.
some a hotel, and he was fine, but he was right there. I wanted to mention and answer your question about how this would
Wrap it
change
up,
the
dude.
United States, and I'm 32 years old. My generation has not seen.
I know, it's
has
like,
not had
Art's like, all right,
hands-on
enough, let's
or
go.
a direct mental contact with any kind of war or death like this. The things that we see on the news are half a world away to us and detached, and this is
right here.
I think going to
Nothing right now, Michelangelo. This is just a guy who's just,
the younger
he's not that
people,
interesting.
in a deep way.
Art's like, all right,
somebody
let's
tells
go.
me that
Okay, I'm going to hold it there for you. I think you're right. I think it will affect
Art's like,
the
I
young
got you. All
people,
right, let me finish your
in
thought
a
for you.
Truly
I don't want to hear any more from you.
profound way, and I'm not sure how it will change them. Actually, that's a question I really want to ask all of you tonight. How you think this is going to change America? Again, we're going to prevail. Make no mistake about that. We certainly will. But it will change us in many significant, profound ways that will affect all of our lives. Simple as that.
And
Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Hello.
I think
Yes.
Hi, this is Philip in Costa
Go ahead.
Mesa, California.
Hello.
Art was always known for being reasonably low key, you know. I mean, he was spirited, he was spunky, but he didn't fluctuate a lot. And
No.
but he already had this natural tendency. He had all day to cogitate, to think, to run things over in his mind. Spoiler alert, we didn't prevail.
We did
Don't
not.
ruin the movie, man.
It's not over yet, Michelangelo.
So he had all day, but also people had all day to process. And I'm just really drawn by the contrast between him and Howard, because and again, Howard was reporting as it happened. He went from Pamela Anderson's tits to
it's startling, and we'll play some of that after we get through Art. But I was just like, wow, like the contrast.
But the anger, and why didn't you see that on CNN? Why didn't you see that on Fox? Because they're news reporters.
Yeah.
These talk show hosts, they had Art was being Art somewhat.
And Howard was being Howard. I think people forget what a shitbag. I still don't like Howard Stern. I never have. But he was always a dirtbag. So listening to it wasn't that shocking.
Let's also remember, I was listening to Howard Stern the day of Columbine, and one of his comments was, well, I don't understand why they didn't try to have sex with some of the girls before killing them or something. I'm like, okay. So,
there was nothing
but he also did make it-
jockey about it. He was an asshole, Howard, in my opinion.
And
That's mine.
people don't Howard has kind of rehabbed his image in the same way that we look back at Art. We can kind of look back on moments with Howard, and it gives us a warm, cushy feeling. But Howard Stern had the sensibilities of a liberal, but the politics of a conservative. I mean, he wanted to run for governor, and his promise was that he was going to fill in the potholes with the bodies of the executed, which he would be doing much more of.
Yeah, he was a shitbag. I never got the lore of Howard Stern for people. I'm like, this guy's fucking terrible. He's a racist piece of shit. He's sexist. He's homophobic. Like, just everything that he would say. And I was like, why do people like this guy? Like, I didn't get it. But some people like that for whatever reason.
And I mean, for me, it was a shock because I was dealing with these warm memories of Howard when I was listening to it. I'm like, oh, you want to do what?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I agree. Oh, you're right, Muggsy.
Really bad question.
I found his movie funny at the time too, and then after I realized stuff, I was like, "Oh my god!"
About this whole day, I was at work all day, and so I heard nothing but audio of the entire event of the day. And when I got home this afternoon,
and saw the pictures,
I am in shock. That's as puny as the English language is.
As puny as the English language is, it's huge. What are you talking about, my man?
Terrible, absolutely terrible. I have to say one thing though. It almost seems it is absolutely systematic the way the events occurred today, and there's, I feel, a great disservice being done to being said right now in the city of Los Angeles, where they are for the most part saying all is calm, all is good, there's everything's safe. If indeed, as we saw, the occurrences of the day reveal themselves for them to come out and say that as the city.
Yeah, isn't really the message of this, the real message, nothing is safe?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And I feel there's a great service being done, and I'm just speaking for the city.
They're probably trying to keep the city of Los Angeles calm, and so I understand that. They're saying you are immediately safe. I guess they're probably not saying in the larger way everything is safe, because that's ludicrous.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it can be truly misconstrued or
it was interesting the way Art gets
misunderstood
this guy
by
to
the
switch his position, because the guy originally wanted to be like, LA is telling us to be fucking calm, but we really shouldn't remain calm. And Art's like, well, I think they're, and then by the end, the guy's like, yeah, you're right, but I think people could misconstrue. Art was very tactful. He's a genius.
general populace.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's a good point.
Sometimes.
Not all the time. Yeah, you're right.
I almost
3 words, William Luther Pierce.
Oh, the Turner Diaries.
I have to share something with you similar to the caller before. I went through a very, very deep anxiety the latter part of last week, and I could not pinpoint it on anything. I would say to a degree I have had certain abilities.
I have certain abilities, so to speak.
Certain feelings.
Okay, my man.
Absolute dreams that have come true. And if this goes
Liam
hand in hand with any of
Neeson
the
calling
feelings
in.
and dreams I've had before, it's not going to stop after today's events. It's just a real terrible, raw, just nagging feeling. And but again, collectively as a
Dude, you
nation,
just felt like
no
shit.
matter
Maybe
how
you ate
bad,
something bad.
A lot of people had weird feelings, and after it, I had weird feelings, and after it happened, I was like, "Oh, that was why."
Yeah.
Whatever.
For the most
No,
part,
no,
conventional.
it's
I know.
whatever.
I don't even know if I had to bring this up, but I got a call from one of my previous guests, Harvey
Ugh.
Rosen, and he's talked to us about things nuclear in the past. And he said, actually, Art, we should be counting our lucky stars that they did not target one of the U.S. nuclear facilities. They certainly would be vulnerable, obviously, to this kind of attack. You know, a nuclear power plant, something like that. As vulnerable as the Twin Towers, at least. So we've all got a lot of thinking to do about how this is going to change us, and it will change us.
Yeah, Steph.
That link? Is that link?
The Harvey Wasserman one?
Is that Willis Carto? The American Free Press was started by Willis Carto. He's a white supremacist. He was a Holocaust denial.
That's where I got that guy's biography from. Yep.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh,
I know
did
it's
not
everywhere,
this.
right?
Okay, so Art is friends with a guy who is, I would assume he's a Holocaust denialist if he's writing for Willis Carto.
Yeah, it's
You can
That's why
see
I
the
pulled
life
some of those
draining out of my eyes right now. I thought William Luther Pierce was bad. Here you go, folks. Art was friends with a Holocaust denier.
Yeah, it's interesting when you like, because he just throws those names out so casually and quick. I was like, I'm gonna snag real quick and do the links so that we can, people can like read about who he's actually talking about. Because Art, he's cozy for everybody, right? But Art had a lot of pieces of shit on, and Art wasn't all that great himself either. It's the lens you examine these people through.
Michelangelo, Art was still around. Art died in, I think, 2018. So Trump was president. Well, before Art died. So I do not think he liked Trump, but I know that Nori I tried listening to Coast in like 2017 and with Nori, and he was like had guests on that were like, Trump is gonna fix this. I'm like, what the fuck? That's why I stopped listening to Alex when I was a conspiracy theorist, because he had Trump on.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? How can you be pro-Trump and a conspiracy theorist? You cannot like Trump as a conspiracy theorist. That was my opinion.
All in
We
one,
will
right?
begin to take actions and security measures that Americans are not used to seeing. Americans are, you travel in a lot of other parts of the world, and you see people routinely with machine guns and soldiers routinely in the streets. Travel to Israel, you would be absolutely amazed at what the atmosphere is like in Israel. Now, it's very casual. I would call it casual, with arms everywhere.
I think this was like their fever dream, though. They had always thought that was going to happen, a militarized America, but that didn't happen, which I think is great that we didn't have
other than on the hip of our
people with guns on
domestic
every
police.
street corner.
They
military.
were masturbating.
Obviously,
They were
the military
masturbating,
is involved,
hoping
and
that
we're
it would
going to see
be.
things we're not used to seeing, and we're going to, some of us, I think, feel infringed upon, our freedoms infringed
I mean, that's
upon
one
as
of the
a result
reasons
of the,
J6 happened, because
security
people
that we're
wanted
going to
something to
have to have.
happen. They were there, and they're like,
This is
let's
the
do
right
it.
here on the air. Hello. Going once.
Art?
Yes.
You know what is on here?
Yes, you are.
This is Sean from South Dakota.
Yes, Sean.
I got a couple of things just kind of throw into the mix here a little bit.
Sure.
I think that with putting airplanes back in the air tomorrow or later today, I think it may be a big mistake.
Well, now, last I heard, they said at least until noon tomorrow. The at least part being, I think, important.
How
In
long
other
did
words,
they wait before they
I
put
sort of
planes
feel
back
that,
up, Steph?
They will extend that. I kind of doubt they'll let
Pause it
planes.
for a second. Sorry. I think it was like 4 or
remember.
5 days or something like that.
It was a while because the skies were so quiet. I remember that.
I'm also having a nervous breakdown. I was looking at that Free Press Archive article. This Harvey Wasserman guy, it says he was a senior advisor to Greenpeace on the nuclear So, okay, we know that Greenpeace in the past, because when I was like a little like junior Republican in high school.
Oh, September 13th, the planes went back up. Okay. Thanks, Michelangelo.
So, like my young Republican days, I wrote an article about like some of the bullshit practices that go with like the animal rights movement, and there are a lot. Greenpeace has hired professional animal torturers in the past. Greenpeace has been known for doing a lot of shady shit with fundraising and stuff like that. So not surprised that Greenpeace would be affiliated with a shady person, but a fucking Holocaust denier?
It's quite incredible, right?
I like this. I might need to write something about it.
Well, there you go. I found you another link that you didn't. That's why we work well together. We, bounce off of each other.
We jive. We do. Holy shit. This
Back
is
in the air at noon, but they might
something else.
Yeah, I think they need to kind of take a couple steps back on this one and figure out what they want to do. Something else I was trying to figure out is why they would not declare a national emergency on something like this, especially when you have no idea if the airplane that's flying over your house isn't going to crash into
I can understand that
the business
concern.
or crash into a military facility or something of.
It's almost amazing that martial law has not.
They
been
were so
declared yet.
thirsty for martial law and
However,
people in the
it may
gun,
well
you know,
be-
the army
thank
in the
you very much
streets,
for the
armed
call.
forces.
We're running toward the top of the hour. It may be that the behavior of the American people is so appropriate that they don't need to declare martial law.
No, they were holding a gun in one hand
That's
and
the way
their
I guess
dicks
I would
in
like
the
to
other.
think of it, that all of you are acting
ready
in a
for
rather appropriate, shocked albeit, but appropriate manner. And so the authorities have not felt the need for that yet. That's something to kind of mull over.
Arts music, man.
That's something good, something on our side
Oh,
on a very, very bad day.
And I'll drop a link in the chat of a bunch of songs I have collected from
Oh, cool.
Art's show. Neil fucking Diamond.
Love it. I was listening to this again, part of it last night, and Taj was like, "Are you singing Coming to America?" And I said, "I sure am."
Fuck yeah.
Kid, listen to the doors upstairs. God, his music was so good on the show.
Oh, I was thinking this was when he played Neil Diamond. I'm sorry.
not yet.
God damn it.
From west of the Rockies
I'm so bad.
It's too late for Jim Morrison. Yeah, it is. If your kid's playing Jim Morrison that late at night, you might want to check on him.
First-time callers may reach Art at 1-775-727-1222.
I'm not saying I know from experience, but I know from experience.
And the wildcard line is open at 1-775-727-1295. To reach Art on the toll-free international line, call your AT&T operator and have them dial 800.
I love that too. Call your AT&T operator.
This is
It's
Coast
so
to
old.
Coast AM with Art Bell from the Kingdom of Nine.
Anybody see Yasser Arafat out there? Arafat sort of expressing condolences and big Arafat.
Boy, they hate
crocodile
Yasser
tears.
Arafat.
What a bunch of
I have an
crap.
article on him
He
too for
doesn't
the Young
represent
Bucks. If
the,
you're in here, if you
Palestinian
don't
people.
remember who he was,
I
post
saw
that.
Palestinian people during the day, and he certainly doesn't represent them. All right, in a moment, we're going to hear from perhaps a series of people. Major Ed Dames has got some news for us, so we'll get to all of
There's
that.
about
in a
Major
moment.
Ed Dames
I'm
again.
Art Bell.
That's from Rational Wiki, I believe.
The only thing Lear Financial would like to say to you all this morning is, again, they would like to join others in expressing their condolences for what has occurred today to America and to Americans. A very profoundly sad day for all of us, and a day that I think continues in sort of a state of shock. It certainly does for me. So from Lear Financial, condolences. One of the men who brought remote viewing out of the U.S. military was Major Ed Dames. He's a frequent guest of mine, due to be on this week, as a matter of fact. He's in the Hawaiian Islands.
His name is
And
too
here's
close
Ed
to
Dames. Major
Dane.
Dames.
What was her name? Dame Edna?
Yeah. And succinct and to the point here. Most of your listeners know who I am, so I don't think there's any need to go in the background. What I wanted to say was, for the last 12 hours, the best remote viewers in the world have been working on the locating.
Oh,
the
it's great,
command
isn't it,
and control
Muggsy?
Authority for this today's attack, and we have now pinpointed that. So I'd like to give you and your listeners that information.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You know
here we
where
go. Remote viewing.
The origins of the attack?
We have a pinpoint location on the controlling authority. Yes, we do.
Okay. All right.
Plot twist, he's
For
wrong.
12 hours. Yeah, we are the best in the business, and it's not risk taking when you do that. It's very high confidence. This is the kind of thing we did for the Department of Defense and the Defense Intelligence Agency. I was the operations and training officer for the unit. So
You go right ahead, Ed.
okay. The Technical Remote Viewing Institute is very closely associated with the Matrix Intelligence Agency. MIA is a civilian intelligence collection company. It has as its assets a number of things. It's a think tank and it has some of the best remote viewers in the world working for it. I've not talked much about it at all, but its assets are the ones that supplied the sketch that you have in your hands that I faxed to you.
You want to explain to people what it is?
Yes, I'm going to explain what it is. The sketch is of a domed mausoleum. This is Ahmad Shah Durrani's tomb.
I love
in the
how
city of
deep he goes with this
Kandahar,
remote viewing.
Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Inside that tomb is an entrance, a secret entrance to a series of bunkers, 2 levels of bunkers that extend out and away from the tomb itself. But the entrance is inside Ahmad Shah Durrani's tomb. You go in there, go down 2 levels, and there is a bunker. In that bunker, this entire attack was planned and executed by 2 individuals. Now, we don't know who the individuals are. We can surmise, of course, who they may be. But we do not have that information. But the attack was planned and executed from that bunker underneath and outside of Ahmad Shah Durrani's tomb in the city of Kandahar, Afghanistan.
I notice what I have here, Ed, is in what you sent me.
That was in response
I
to
see a series
Muggsy.
of notes
Is
that must be the notes.
do I know where the motto "Be all you can be" came from? I said remote viewing. Did they remote view it?
It was the phrase that was written on the piece of paper that was hidden way above the table that they couldn't possibly see it.
I don't know where it came from, Muggsy.
But yeah, and if you do look into Project
Remote viewers who were
if you do look into Project Stargate or Stargate Project, I put in a link for The Men Who Stare at Goats, because it was John Ronson did a book about it, and they made it into a movie, and everybody loves John Ronson.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And flash forward to 20 years when we find out like he was Jimmy Savile or something.
I hope not. Please no.
Yeah, please no. I'm kidding, John.
Yes,
We
jokes.
love you. And but you're also going to come across Montauk, MK. You're going to see some MK Ultra overlap, and with the Montauk, you're going to see an overlap with the Philadelphia experiment. So,
Yes.
like this, just like this remote viewing, it like bleeds out into all. It's like a crazy wall.
doing this.
That is it. Those notes are of one individual, Aaron Donahue. Those are his notes. You need not look at the notes. They probably would not mean a lot to you, but the sketch itself is important. And it is precise, the same kind of precision that we use to support Delta Force and others. And
So Kandahar.
Kandahar in Afghanistan, southern Afghanistan, and that bunker complex is 2 levels below that tomb. The tomb dominates the city of Kandahar. The tomb.
Moritz Hunter, you
Ahmad
guessed it.
Shah
Yeah,
was
he wants his
first
attention.
emir of Afghanistan, and he laid the city out. That's his tomb right there. It's very big, very beautiful, and impressive. Probably as impressive as the World Trade Towers were.
All right, I will get this this sketch with your permission up on the website.
Yes, and
Is that all right to do?
yes.
Hey,
I do,
Ed, I got a
please,
question
you know,
for you.
And we are now turning our attention to any other
Why didn't you
targets
send
that
this information to the government if you're so sure that you have pinpointed the location? Why haven't you? That should have been a question that Art asked.
Right? And the Spotify link that I just shared, Ron Johnson did a series. It's called Things Fell Apart. It's a Spotify
John
link.
Ronson.
John Ronson.
You
I always get that. I always flip it.
Wrong guy.
I know. John Ronson. Oh my gosh. Can I talk tonight? Whew. Anyways.
It's like that Posey Posey Parker lady. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the indie film actress, and I'm like, holy shit, it isn't.
All right. John Ronson. Anyways, he did a great. It's really good. Things Fell Apart. Yeah, it's really good. Ron Johnson is the porno guy. Yeah.
The brilliant thing about John Ronson's series is that he takes you on a story. He's presenting you with facts, but it's like he's reading a story to you. And he takes you on a journey with, for example, Judy Mikovits.
Yeah.
Where you hear the tragedy of how she became this crazy anti-vaxxer nut. And you hear what had happened to her, and you do feel for her. And as evil as she is, and I do like the way that John is able to humanize people that are terrible people, because we
He
still
really
need to
does.
see them as human. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a good series.
And everybody knows how much I despise Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
Dude used to get like pushed down the stairs when he was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was probably a little dick, but
Humanizes
him.
Everybody was little. Everybody has a background story. Everybody was a child at one time, upbringing,
except
and
for
stuff.
Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel came out a monster.
Outstanding this command and control center, this authorizing authority has on its plate. We want to see if there are any more targets that have not been hit, and that's what we're turning our attention to now, Art.
All right. Well, when you get news on that, get hold of me right away, and I'll get you on the air. In the meantime, a lot of people are
You're right.
emailing me and saying, well, why didn't the remote viewers know this was going to happen? Remote viewers are not psychics. They are people who look at specific targets.
We have to turn our attention to something. In fact, our attention was on the Chandra Levy murderer. We were looking for the murderer himself.
I knew
That
you
was
have news
interesting
on
that
and
they were
when we
like,
do a
we're trying
program,
to
we'll
look
get
into
that on the
Chandra
air. In the
Levy.
meantime, thank you so much for what you did tonight.
A pleasure, Art.
Take care. That's Ed Dane in the Hawaiian Islands. And he did provide me with a speech.
Go ahead.
I heard a great quip on one of the Dollop episodes where like Gareth was like, it's like, yeah, man, that guy must have been more relieved than Gary Condit on 9/11. I'm like, that's a good joke. Because you know that was the only person who was having a good day that day. He was like, this is a tragedy. Oh, fuck, thank God.
Fucking God. Chandra Levy, nobody's going to talk about me for a while. I'm good.
And Aaliyah's plane crash suddenly seemed like nothing now.
Yeah, exactly.
Although R.I.P. to a fucking legend.
Oh, she's so... I love her in Queen of the Damned. Her music and everything.
God, yes. I'm sorry, it's a shit movie.
She's so good in it.
I love the soundtrack. And I love the movie, no matter how stupid it is. And the clothing is so hot.
We will take no Queen of the Damned slander in this space here.
No Queen of the Slammed.
That shows a bunker. It's a pretty detailed sketch. And
oh my gosh.
for the record, we will forward this
See
to
what
the
Michelangelo
website
said.
And try to get some sort of representation of it up on the website. Maybe
that
it can
sounds
be scanned
pretty fishy.
and put in
That is
from
sus.
there, or maybe I'm going to have to scan it here to get enough detail. Too many generations of fax machines, and
I was
soon
at
you
the
have
World
just
Trade
a
Center in
mush.
1985.
On the international line, you are on the air. Hello, where are you, please?
Yes, I'm in Taiwan. I'm Brian.
Yes,
Hi,
Mer,
Brian.
watch it. You'll love Queen of the
Hi.
Damned. It's really good.
I'm an American who's been living overseas here for about 12 years.
I wonder when and how the news reached you, and how prolific a story it is in Taiwan.
Well, it was, I guess, about a half hour after the event started. Someone called me on my cell phone as I was driving home from a friend's house and said, get to the TV now.
Do you know when this happened? I still didn't have a cell
which
phone
I
yet.
did.
We couldn't afford one.
I
Like they
do
were
not
for
have
like
cable.
upper middle
Just
class
get the
or
local
people.
channels.
We still didn't have a cell phone. We didn't get
All
one until we
three
drove
local
home.
Channels, all they were doing was playing CNN feed and commenting over it in Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
Until I went to bed about 3 in the morning.
Yes, I think
I'm 12 hours different from East Coast time.
I understand. I think most of the world probably, if they had access to CNN, spent the day in shock watching CNN, and it just got worse and worse.
Yes. Going into work in the morning, everyone was, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. We can't believe it.
Oh my gosh!
So
Fascinating
it's
stories
dominating
here.
the news in Taiwan.
Yes. One of the channels right now is still, that's all it's running.
Mm-hmm.
All the sitcoms and soap operas, all it's running is news.
Yeah, for your information, that is predominantly what's occurring here as well.
Well,
just about all normal programming is suspended.
Boy, the
All right,
Patriot
well,
Act
listen,
really
I
got
tell you,
everybody.
It must be a
My
rough
gosh,
time to
Michelangelo.
be away from America.
Okay, hold on.
A very difficult time.
Thank you very much for your call, and take care, Taiwan. And again, the way that you can make it to us internationally is to get hold of the AT&T
While
operator.
Art takes his break and you listen to music real quick, I'm going to get my dog some more water. I think that's, besides pets, he wants water.
Or partake of the information on my website, artbell.com, where you can get a list of telephone numbers, access numbers worldwide, and then dial us at 800-893-0903. It is a toll-free call. Open lines tonight. That's what we're doing. First-time caller line, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Art. How are you?
Well, kind of in shock, to be honest with you.
Yep, me too. My name is Ray. I'm in Southeast Missouri.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. You know, why didn't the radio controllers? Is what I was wondering. Why didn't somebody have a better handle on this? I kind of feel like the country was let down kind of by our national
Well,
security.
okay, I'm told the following, that the transponders on the aircraft involved did not transmit the secret code, the 4-digit code, meaning there was hijacking underway. Now, that would indicate to me that the takeover was very fast and very complete, and that the hijackers had people capable of piloting those planes to their doom. And so there never was a chance for anybody to do anything. That's what you would have to presume, because they can send out a 4-digit transponder code that says, hey, hijacking underway, even if they don't say anything. So it had to be that fast.
That's terrible.
The whole thing is terrible, sir.
Yep.
I appreciate the call.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. On my international line, you're on the air. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Morelia, Mexico.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the program.
Yes, my name.
Michelangelo.
No, yes, that's fine.
He was out of it.
My name
Oh,
is
wow.
Eli. I've been listening to you, and I've been watching CNN most of the day.
Where in Mexico is that, by the way?
Morelia is central Mexico.
Central.
It's exactly halfway between Guadalajara and Mexico City.
All right, sir.
I'm a Canadian living here, and I've been living here for over 2 years. I teach in a bilingual school, and in our school this morning we had the news, the first thing that happened, and the kids and teachers have been devastated. Mexico is in total shock, to put it bluntly.
You're so correct. Everybody's in shock, I guess.
Canadian,
and
can't
I'm
trust
beginning
them.
to find
No,
out
that's
that
what I
seems
heard,
to be
Muggsy.
the case worldwide.
Can't trust those Canadians, right?
Mexican television and media, since you're bilingual, you can certainly tell us how the media is reacting there.
They're reporting it exactly the way it's happening, and English and Spanish television is right to the second. And the expression is, like I just said, total shock, dismay. They can't believe that such a horrendous thing would happen, in this modern day and age.
Now, I know that you are an American living there. No, you said Canadian.
Canadian, yes, that's right.
When you hear, though, that the Mexican border with the U.S. has been closed, and the Canadian border with the U.S., I'm not sure what the status of that is. I imagine it's very
close to.
So how does that make you feel, being down in middle Mexico and hearing all of that and knowing that you really couldn't come home if you wanted to?
Well, right now I have Mexico as my home, but what I feel is I have a tremendous amount of empathy for the Americans, because I feel United States as a home. It's almost the same as in Canada, with very, very little difference. The only difference is in the government. Other than that, our cultures are almost basically the same. Language is the same. So we are sister countries, and Mexico is a
Quebec would defer on that, language as being the same, isn't it? French, Quebec, don't they speak a lot of French there?
We all depend on one another.
I appreciate your call, sir. You take care.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's all the way from central Mexico. And again, that's our international line. You can get the code if you're out in some other country and dial our number, our 800 number dialect
Michelangelo,
code on
yeah,
the website.
Donald Trump has a perfect map. We should all become the one country. He made one today.
Call 800-893-0903.
Jimmy had his own map out too. He retweeted somebody where it's like California, Pennsylvania, like some eastern states are taking off.
Line, you're on here. Hello.
Get out of here, Jim.
Hi.
My name is Matthew. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Yes, sir.
You were saying that you were asking the people how do they feel, towards the U.S.
I
right?
have something for
Well,
you.
No, not so much. I was asking.
I did a newspaper archive search on Harvey Wasserman. This might be something for you and I to explore later. And some of the search hits seem to match up to the free press information about him. So this might be something fun for us to investigate.
Oh, cool. Because that was a name, whenever it came up, I was like, I've never heard of this guy. And then they say he coined that one phrase back in 1974, I think it was. I read in that article about him. And I was like, this is a guy I don't think I know anything about. I've never heard the name. So
I dropped the link in the studio chat. I mean, I could drop it in the public one, but anyone that clicks on it, you're not going to get anything unless you have a subscription.
Unless you subscribe, yeah.
In America, specifically how they thought it would change America, and it is going to change, but it's probably going to change you too.
That's what I meant to say. I'm just a little nervous. Sorry.
Most of the international flights coming across the Atlantic, I believe all actually, were diverted to
Canada,
your country.
Well, we had 15 lands in the city today, and 1,500 passengers arriving, and it's changed our country a lot. Our border crossing was open, but it's the first time I've ever seen snipers on the top of our border crossing.
Snipers?
There was snipers on top of the border
Canada
crossing.
didn't want our shit.
On top of the building.
Wow.
Canada was
I could not
fuck
believe
that.
I've
They
listened
put the
to your show
snipers
for years,
up.
and this is the first time I ever felt like I needed to call in, just to get this off my chest, because it's a world-changing thing.
Have you been just sort of sitting watching it unfold all day long?
I've been watching TV all day today. Luckily, I had today off work, and that's on. I'm not one to watch TV, but I've been in front of it all day watching CNN, our local stations, to seeing what's happening in our airport because of all the flights coming here.
Mm-hmm. Of course, our airport here, like all over the country, they're all closed.
Yeah, ours open at noon tomorrow.
Well, so they're saying. I think we may not have heard the last word on that. They may open at noon, or they may not. They may not. It would be. I appreciate the calls. Listen, if I were to make a guess, I would say they probably will not open, but that's only my guess. I would think they would extend that. I don't think anybody wants major airliners in the air crisscrossing.
No, certainly not
of the U.S. and Canada right now at all. But the final word on that, I suppose, will be
His dad was
forthcoming.
Woody
East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art. How are you?
In shock, sir.
My name is Tio. I'd rather not say where I'm calling from here in the East, but I do have some. I am psychic, and I do have some.
I am psychic. I have information. Oh, wait.
I think a lot of the people would say
This is the one, Steph, I told you it was so interesting. And I asked you if Art hated psychics, because he really comes at this guy like, well, why didn't you know? He's very upset.
And it's interesting, and you pointed out the interesting contrast, because Ed Dames had just been on, and he's like, oh, remote view, and Art's like, I'm going to put that right up on the website, and this other guy's like, oh, well, so he doesn't ask Ed Dames any skeptical questions,
but this psychic gets put through the
but
runner.
also Ed Dames is a recurring guest,
yeah,
and a pal of Art's, so it's in Art's best interest to
be sweet and nice to him.
If you were psychic, why didn't you share with us this was going to happen?
Actually, I do have a major view that is. I feel like I have to tell. Friday, I believe there will be subway explosions, and I believe the government will retaliate us late Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Didn't happen,
this
psychic.
is going to be a very long process.
All right, sir, I appreciate the call, but again, I think people would ask, where were you before this happened? Psychics are supposed to be exactly that, psychic. Now, of course, one has no way of knowing what all the psychics of the world either picked up or did not pick up. There's no way we can all know that.
Yeah, the way
but there
he
was nothing
spit that
major
out.
that
Yeah.
I'm
it's
aware
like
of. As you know, I'm in the field
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
heavily.
There's
and
I
venom
didn't catch
behind
that.
it.
specific dire prediction had been made. I should have been aware of it.
I don't need new tires, but stay tuned for the next episode.
We're going to have to be smart. We're going to have to be strategic. We're going to have to be aggressive.
I'm an alpha guy.
I'll flip a table every time you aren't getting by.
Let's go. Just push.
It's all psychological warfare.
I'm not part of QAnon.
We know what they are doing.
For Trump.
If shit goes wrong, like I will literally have to leave the country.
Stop that.
I'll land my initial plane.
Okay, high five. This isn't the hi-fi show.
Good night. Good night. Nighty night.